But whatever. Pranks, there's a specific theory. There's a specific theory in Star Wars lore that I know that you are very well versed in. There's well, some may not call it a theory, some may call it like a conspiracy, called Bigger Luke. What is that?
Where to begin? Okay, so Bigger Luke theory. Bigger Luke theory is centered around the premise that there are at least, maybe more, but at least 2 Lukes in the original trilogy. One is Luke Prime, and one is Bigger Luke. This is a theory that there are certain scenes in A New Hope, and possibly other movies, in which Luke has been replaced by a slightly larger version of himself. Bigger Luke.
Now, I want to stop you right there.
Wait, I have like 2 more, okay.
I have questions, right? But I want to establish more questions. Just keep going.
Okay. So there are 2 prongs to Bigger Luke theory. One is the canon hypothesis, or the Bigger Luke hypothesis. This is the idea that within Star Wars canon, there exists a larger Luke who was swapped out for certain scenes in the original trilogy. The second theory is called the Hamill hypothesis, or Hamill theory, and that's the idea that there was another slightly larger stuntman who was swapped in for some scenes for Mark Hamill.
I think you just blew somebody's mind like, that's why!
And then there's a third possibility, of course, and that's that when you shoot people from certain camera angles, they appear larger.
That's like downsizing with Matt Damon.
Yeah. I mean, this is by far the least plausible of the theories, in my opinion.
I don't know, it's just crazy enough to work.
Yeah. So Bigger Luke theory, or it's called BL, or capital B, lowercase g, large L is another way to refer to it. Bigger Luke theory is a portal into probably the most insightful and incredible Star Wars theory I've ever read in my life. And the more I read about it, the more convinced I am that there's like something there. This morning, I came to the conclusion that like there is something to this Bigger Luke theory. And I don't know how much of this PowerPoint you have.
Well, there's like an educated wiki of text.
Yeah.
Just about, JC, can you pull up the page? I believe it's like
BiggerLuke.wiki.
I can pull the page up, yeah, keep talking, I'll pull it up.
Yeah, okay, so let me just get this right.
Yeah.
The idea is that there's 2 Lukes but one Mark Hamill, or are there multiple Hamills?
So there's 2 prongs, right? So one is that there
like
are
diverging timelines.
Right. So like one is oh yeah, you got it. Yeah. So here you got Luke Prime and you have Bigger Luke.
He looks so similar to him. I want to ask you a question.
Sure.
When did this theory become a theory? Like, who was watching and said, that guy's bigger?
So, the theory got like a lot of attention in December 2015. This is something that has been kicked around for a while, but I'd say like it was really just publicized in the last couple of years. And like I think that it really reached prominence in the last couple of years. But if you're asking like who the biggest Bigger Luke truther is, the answer is like, I don't know. Many of these edits are anonymous. They could even be you or me.
It could be the Senate.
It could also be the Senate. Yeah, I've seen that Twitter account as well.
It's POTUS. Yeah. It's terrifying what he's trying
Here,
to do
I'm
to
going to create
us.
you of one right now, so you don't have to edit anonymous.
What are you doing?
Do you want to be able to edit Wikipedia and we know that you changed to Bigger Luke?
I kind of want to watch Last Jedi again and see if I can get biggest Luke. Subpage. So
I was briefly afraid that I had logged in on your computer or something, and I was like, oh
no. This information is on Google. It's out there for everybody.
My old nemesis.
Yeah. Jim Google.
Yeah.
And you go back.
But so the thing I learned this morning about Bigger Luke theory,
because there's always new data coming.
There's always new stuff coming in. Yeah. So for the longest time, when I was a kid, I was really proud of the fact that my father had the same height as Mark Hamill. So I'd like go around and be like, oh, Mark Hamill is 5'9", just like my dad, who's 5'9". I was like, oh, that's so cute. And then this morning, I was like Googling stuff, and it said Mark Hamill gave an interview in 1977 where he claimed he was 5'7" and 130 pounds. And I was like, oh my God, what's going on? And I was like,
we're losing him.
Like, is this really like? Did I just learn something about Bigger Luke theory on the day that I was going to give this interview? But then I went deeper.
Then you went taller.
Then I went taller. So, the second prong of the theory, the Mark Hamill theory, I think has some credence to it because I just remember that Luke did have the same Mark Hamill did have the same stuntman during all of the original trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
It's a guy named Colin Skeeney, and he's 5
Is
foot...
he evil?
No! His last name is Skeeney. That had not occurred to me. I was just too excited to see that he is 5'10".
Okay.
And so I'm wondering, like, is this where it all started? Is this where it all began? Oh, did I talk about no Han pics? Should I do that?
Oh boy.
You know what? You know what I'm going to?
Yeah, let's do it. Strap me.
I'm so sorry that I didn't like lead with this, but
Yeah, I wish you would have like brought out like
So two things.
handouts for people.
Oh man, I know. Right? Well, I mean, I do have like Never Told Me the Pod's cards on there, and we talk about this through like all the time. So if you guys want to check it out, you can go to my show, which is quite a thing, where we talk about stuff like this. But two things about Bigger Luke theory.
Mm-hmm.
When you search the original trilogy for evidence of the Bigger Luke hypothesis, it's called luking. I'm not making this up. It's on the wiki. And the second thing is that all of these shots originated from the shot in aboard the Falcon on the Death Star in A New Hope, where Luke and Han pop out of the smuggling compartments, and Luke seems taller than usual because he's popping out of a smuggler compartment that's like sort of closer to the camera. So from this came the principle of NHP, or no Han pics. And anytime you look for a Bigger Luke picture, or anytime you're looking, and you find a picture that doesn't have...
This is serious.
that doesn't have Han in it, that is, according to the wiki, deprecated. So what you want to do is make sure that you're not uploading NHP or no Han pics in this scenario, because everything is relative to Han. And like,
he's the unit of measure for all of Star Wars.
Right. Yeah.
Like Cloud City is like approximately 8,000 Han.
Yeah. It's like 1.3 Hans tall.
Yeah. Well, in Chewie, I mean, at one point in his life he might have been 1 Han, but then he got like 1.2 Hans. It's very different.
Yeah, and I mean, part of what makes this so confusing is that a lot of the dimensions in Star Wars are given in terms of meters, which is like a weird space term that no one understands. So. But anyway, so no Han pics. I guess I covered that, and then I also covered what luking is. So yeah, I am coming around to the idea that both my ideas of how tall Luke were and also this stuntman thing might be behind this Bigger Luke thing, but I'll have to do more research and figure it out.
Has that affected your relationship with your father?
I don't think he knows about this.
Okay.
Although my dad is shorter than 5'9" now, so I don't know.
I feel like we're just up here on fumes, like heights are weird. Man,